And that man, Fred Hoiberg, threw out the first pitch. Of course, announced as the head men's basketball coach. Threw a perfect strike right in there as well to get the game going.
The outside corner.
And now we're happy to have him with us up here in the booth. Coach, congratulations, welcome. Do you feel like you're now settled in? I know you know that this part of the country pretty well, but are you settled yet?
No, it's really been a whirlwind these first couple days, and you know, it's exciting, very exciting time for us and for our family. We've got a lot of history in this state, and my grandfather actually coached at Nebraska back from 55 to 63. My other grandfather was a professor, history professor for 30 years at Nebraska, and then both my parents are graduates, and I was actually born here. So we have a lot of history, and it's really great to be back.
But you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose a little bit right now?
No doubt. After that first day press conference, I spent the whole day making calls, and then that next morning we were on a flight to go out and see a couple kids and some families. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. And then my oldest son, Jack, was a player for Michigan State this year. He was a walk-on for Coach Izzo. So it was a lot of fun to follow those guys. My fun for them.
So, Coach, you can be honest with us. Did you sign a contract when you were a kid that you could not leave the central time zone or something? I mean, you haven't been able to kind of escape the whole Midwest. Tell us about that. I mean, obviously you have great ties here, but just staying in the Midwest.
Yeah, it really has been that. You know, I grew up in Ames, born here, was drafted by the Pacers and played 4 years on some really good teams in Indiana. Spent 4 years playing with the Bulls in Chicago on some not-so-good teams, and ended up my playing career with the Timberwolves in Minnesota. Those were my last 2 years in the league. From there, I went back down to Ames to start my coaching career at Iowa State, back to Chicago. Now here we are in Nebraska.
David Vilches takes a called strike. He goes down, so man still at third with 2 away in the top of the second. But, Coach, I asked if you were drinking out of a fire hose, but in all seriousness, when you take a job like this, how do you set a priority list for the things you want to accomplish early on?
Yeah, you know, the first thing is getting a staff put together, and, you know, you have to have a group that you trust and you're going to go out and do the right things and try to help put a roster together that can compete at the highest level. And that's been a big thing is, you know, now that we have our staff pretty much in place, it's about identifying the type of players that we want in our program that fit the type of system and style that we're going to play. So that's been a big thing these first few days. And then it's just been a lot of time. I feel like I've had that phone in my ear for 72 straight hours, and, you know, trying to make a lot of calls and get familiar with some of the players, talking to some of the kids that were committed to try to keep them on board. And about moving forward, but it's been a whirlwind. There's no doubt about that.
That's probably the biggest adjustment, going from college to the pros and then now back to college. I mean, how is that kind of factoring in? You're talking about the communication with kids and recruiting and who you're holding on to and all those different twists. I'm sure you didn't have to do a lot of that with the NBA.
Yeah, that's what you know. I'm very thankful for my time in Chicago. I grew as a coach. You know, coaching against the best basketball minds in the world, and you know, you have to go out there and grow. And you know, I feel I did that in the 3+ years that I was in Chicago. And you know, but it's a completely different game. You know, I've worn every hat that you can wear pretty much in this game. As a player in college, in the NBA, as an executive, I worked my way up in Minnesota. I was VP of basketball operations and spent time coaching at both levels. So, you know, everything has helped me. It's helped prepare for this job, and again, we're looking forward to it.
0-2 here to Kyle Perry, and he laces that foul down the left field line. So in town, has it been neat to see? Because the fans are very excited to have you back. So has it been neat, people stopping you on the street, wanting to talk to you everywhere you go?
It's been awesome. The fans have been tremendous, and you look all across the board at the support at this university. You know, you look tonight. You know, you got a full house here, and the spring game on Saturday they sold 92,000 tickets in just a couple hours. So it's crazy to think that, you know, the fans will come show up for a scrimmage. Every seat in Memorial Stadium since 1962 has been sold out. And then, you know, again, with Pinnacle Bank, I'm telling you, the facilities here are as good as any in the country. I was fortunate a couple years ago with the Bulls. We played in an exhibition game over there against the Mavericks, and I was just blown away, you know, by the facilities. We walked through the practice area, and it was just it's phenomenal. So when you have those types of things, you know, it certainly helps get you in the door with some of these kids, and it's our job to try to you know, get these guys in here and sell them on a great situation.
Visiting with Fred Hoiberg, and of course you're going to be pretty familiar with some of the in-state rivalries coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I listen. Coach McDermott's a very good friend of ours and his wife Teresa, and I coached Doug. Doug was a guy that played for us with the Bulls, and he was awesome. He was a great guy. You know, to get to know. We both played at Ames High School. My '91 team was much better than his championship team with he and Harrison Barnes. But yeah, it's listen. I've been part of rivalries. You know, Dana with the Hawks when we were you know, going in Ames where I grew up, and you know, it's just it is. Those are fun games for everybody, for the players, the coaches, and the fans.
A battle here between Kyle Perry and Will Hannafan that's still going at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away.
Fred, Brandon's talking about how happy everyone is for you around here. I have to say this. I have to admit, this is a special time for me. This is the closest I've been to a cyclone without throwing any kind of jab, any kind of verbal jabs. You know, so I've been keeping my everything inside.
I'm gonna get you a no. Walk out of here.
Have you had a chance to visit with Coach Erstad or Scott Frost yet?
I did. I talked to Coach Erstad. You know, it's kind of funny. When I was with the Timberwolves, actually as a player, I went to 2 games in the Met. That was back when they played in the old Metrodome before Target Field. And I caught a foul ball, actually, that Darren Erstad hit. So I just told him about that. It was crazy to think. And then at the next game, I went to 2 games that year, and I caught a foul ball at both those games. Won by Darren. And then Scott, yeah, I got to know Scott a little bit here. He and his staff come over and play some pretty bad basketball. Mean ball crowds. But yeah, it's been great to get to know Scott and really all the coaches. They've been terrific.
Well, congratulations again, and thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Fred Hoiberg.